What is going on, YouTube? Deacon Do here. I just want to share our Bible study that we kicked off our Monday, July 25th stream with. We were in the 18th chapter of the book of Matthew. So again, Matthew 18. And we looked at verses 21 through 35, which is the parable of the unforgiving servant, and a little bit of a real-life correlation to that from earlier today. So anyways, if you enjoy this, go ahead and head over to twitch.tv/DeaconDo. Give me a follow, and I hope to see you real soon. Bye-bye! All right, I think we need to... Let's go ahead and go into our Bible lesson, because I think we really need it after the way this conversation has gone. All right, so there's a long parable, and really the last verse of the parable is really the key part. So I'm going to paraphrase. Actually, no, I'm going to read the parable. So we're in the book of Matthew, chapter 18, starting with verse 21, okay? Then Peter came to him, Jesus, and said, Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Up to 7 times. Jesus said to him, I do not say to you up to 7 times, but up to 70 times 7. Therefore the kingdom of heaven is like a certain king who wanted to settle accounts with his servants. And when he had begun to settle accounts, one was brought to him who owed him 10,000 talents. Now 10,000 talents, that's a lot of gold back in the day, okay? But he was not able to pay. His master commanded that he be sold, with his wife and children and all that he had, and that payment be made. The servant therefore fell down before the master, saying, Master, have patience with me, and I will pay you all. Then the master of the servant, who was moved with compassion, released him and forgave him his debt. So that's great. But unfortunately, the servant doesn't really reciprocate that, right? But that servant went out and found one of his fellow servants who owed him 100 denarii, and laid hands on him and took him by the throat. So basically, grabbed a hold of him, was going to beat on him, already had him by the throat, saying, Pay me what you owe. So his fellow servant fell down at his feet and begged him, saying, Have patience with me, and I will pay you. And he would not, but went and threw him into prison till he should pay the debt. So, of course, back in the day, debtor's prison was a thing. You had a debt you couldn't pay, you were thrown in the clink, right? So when his fellow servants saw what had been done, they were very grieved, and came and told their master all that had been done. Of course, this is the same master that forgave the first servant. Then his master, after he had called him, said to him, You wicked servant, I forgave you all that debt because you begged me. Should you not also have had compassion on your fellow servant, just as I had pity on you? And his master was angry, and delivered him to the torturers until he should pay all that was due to him. Now here's the whole point of the parable. So this is Jesus. So my heavenly Father also will do to each of you from his heart, who does not forgive his brother his trespasses. Now, the whole point of this parable, and it really came to me based off of a question my wife asked me today. And to share a little bit of a personal story here, I was talking with my mom today, and while we were on the phone, she got another call, didn't recognize the number, but thought she should answer it. So she did, and it was the mother of her second husband. So my mom's second mother-in-law. And telling her that her second husband had passed away. Now, how does this relate to what I just said, or what we just talked about with the parable? Well, he was not a kind man. He was a vindictive, abusive. He was a SOB. Okay. And my wife asked me, how do you feel about it? And I said, well, I'm sad that he passed. I'm sad that he suffered. Nobody deserves that. And so she asked me, but he never really apologized to you for everything that happened. I said, no. I said, but I had already forgiven him. I had moved on beyond that. And does that make me a better person than the servant in this parable? No. That just means I have learned this parable and try to live it. And the point is, you're not always going to get an apology from somebody who has wronged you. Heck, they may not even know that they did wrong you. But you still need to forgive them. You still need to look past that. That is something that this world severely lacks, is that we want to hold everybody accountable for everything, or even hold people to our standards when they're not even, the standards we live by. So try to be kind to each other, try to understand each other, and try to forgive as much as possible, because you're commanded to, right? God and Jesus said, hey, look, you're supposed to forgive.